This is Come to Daddy with Reuben K, the podcast at the end of the world for people who may not have children, but they still have to deal with their parents. I don't want to say I've got daddy issues, but as I said to my doctor, I refuse to swallow it until you put it in a piece of ham and stroke my throat. I don't know what any of that means. Hello, podlets, daddyettes, listeners, and watchers. Well, what a time it's been. The world is ending. We've got no more water, but we have lots of oil. And trust me, I'm going to need it for this guest. Is that something? It's something. But before this guest comes, Amanda Sangorski is going to join me in the capsule for better, for worse, for sickness, in health. Amanda Sangorski. Here we are at the first episode of season 3, and we're in the same room.
I know. This has happened a few times before, and it sort of involves some kind of time vortex thing that happens. It doesn't happen often. I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't prep anything.
No, but that's the joy of this relationship, is we don't need to prep anything. We just need to be on prep. PrEP is a drug that protects and prohibits the transmission of HIV, and it's not just for us queers, it's for everyone.
This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by Reuben K.
Why am I not sponsored for PrEP? My Grindr profile name is Custard Guts.
Anyway, so if we could just get on to some business. Let's get down to business.
Hey, guess who we've got on the pod today?
Well, I know who it is. So
How
it
do
kind
you
of
know?
takes out... Well, because I spoke to them.
Oh, okay, well, that's fair.
So it takes out the excitement of the
Can
guessing
you tell
game.
me, because I don't know?
No, it'll spoil it.
Oh, she's such a tease.
He knows. It's lovely Morgan Rees. I
I
won't
see.
try the Welsh accent because it's, yeah. I've written something for you to say to Morgan.
I'll say it now. I think it's Feli croeso gweste hedith a'r podlediad deriwayal Morgan Rees. I think that's what it is, but I chickened out.
Please add in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube how I think that sounds more like Klingon than Welsh.
Feli croeso
and then-
gweste heddiw a'r podlediad deriwayal.
I think if there isn't
Morgan
someone
Rees.
Welsh present, that's racist.
That's-
If there was someone Welsh here, they could guide us, right? But I think we're doing it. It's exclusive. I think if we do it without.
But I put it through Google Translate.
Do
and
it with
made
him.
It sound.
Oh,
I put the
you and your
sound
modern.
on.
I'm leaving.
Okay, goodbye, Amanda Sangorski. You're brilliant. All right, let's get this done. I've got a twink in my dressing room who's not getting any fresher. That twink, sadly, is me. My guest today is a queer comedian, proud Welsh speaker. He's here. He's a bear I wish would take me into the woods because this bowl of porridge is just right. Welcome, Morgan Rees.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bub. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
You've exploded. You're everywhere.
Oh, I'm trying.
Yeah, you're on the walls dripping right now.
It's been a lonely couple of weeks.
Welcome to Come to Daddy.
Thank you for having me.
Are you ready for a little bit of a deep dive?
Oh, I have literally just come straight from my parents, so I am ready for a deep dive.
Oh, fresh. The meniscus of trauma is overflowing. I'm in. Okay, we like to do these with little beddling. Beddling. That's what it is. It's meddling in bed. We'll move on. Cut that, Amanda. Just a few settling in questions. Can I just get an image of the Morgan Rees bedroom as a child?
As a child, classic.
Or like adolescent even, if we don't want to be too creepy.
It pretty much stayed the same throughout my childhood, I would say. I think just the duvet changed from one with stars on to just being plain blue. That was all. I had a very basic, that classic thing of all the walls are white, bar one which changed colour every 2 years. I mean, it was painted. I didn't have a magic wall, but and then that, and they were just a single bed. My piano at the end of the room, a little television, and a little desk where I drew, and just boxes and boxes and boxes of books that I would read. Nothing else. I still don't decorate my room to this day.
I know you had a rotating feature wall, and you had a piano, you had books, you had a place to draw. I'm guessing you didn't have a big social life?
No.
It is, I think, very interesting with queer people or people who sort of enter their queerdom at a slightly later stage, they really do have this this new adolescence that they come into. And I don't know, it feels like that's what you're going through, watching you go through this whole transformation.
Yeah.
And you're just going through these amazing photos of you in skirts, this amazing more gender expression, more queerness coming through. It's so fucking lovely to watch.
Oh, that's superb. And it's so fun doing it.
Yeah.
And and I tell you what's really fun is my straight friends going, love that. Love that skirt on you. Love that. Oh, I wish I could wear a crop top. I wish that. And that's what I love.
And the answer is you can, babe.
Yeah, you can. And some of them do. Like I had a 30th recently, and the theme of the event was wear the thing you've always wanted to, but too nervous to.
Oh, that's a good theme.
And so, like, I'd worn like a couple of skirts beforehand, but I'd never worn them with heels. I was like, I want to wear skirt and heels because and all the I had rugby boys there because I was like, we all got thighs, we all got big sturdy legs.
Nothing better than thighs and heels. I want trunks on pins.
Yeah, because you're being on your tiptoes, you're kind of already tensing, aren't you? So it's already flexing.
It really helps that little teardrop. Paul Mezcal could learn a thing or two.
Yes.
It also helps the dump truck out as well, because I don't have an ass. I have like a passive-aggressive handoff of duty from my back to my legs. But in heels, I got a Georgia peach.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So that's why I'm really enjoying. I'm loving it, and I'm loving. Yeah, I think obviously I'm loving like being like really embracing myself with the queer community since moving to London as well.
Where were you before?
Bristol.
Right.
And I would say Bristol is queer friendly, but I wouldn't say it would have a vibrant, active, like lively queer scene. Maybe I didn't tap into it right because I came out quite late. But moving to London, I fucking made the most of it.
It's also possible about that. It's also possible like, oh, because I came out late, I didn't have access to the queer community that's there. But I'm thrilled that you're like welcomed here in London.
Yeah, no, it's been wicked.
Can we get to know your begetters a bit better? Let's get to know your nurturers. Let's familiarise ourselves with your familiars. It's our parental questionnaire. Quickfire answers, please. You can change names to protect the innocent/guilty. Names of parents?
Samantha and Jim, and also my step-parents and my parents, so Howie and Sally.
Howie and Sally is camp. That's great. And do they live in the same town?
Yes.
Which town is that?
Pentir in Vale of Glamorgan and down in Cardiff.
Fantastic. I knew one of those words and I loved it. Will they listen to this?
My mam probably will, yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just be very nice.
It would be very lovely about my mam.
Sometimes Amanda doesn't prep me on these things, and I just get things that says, just tell me about mum's edibles.
I'm pretty sure I could talk about that.
Go on.
Essentially, like, I don't know, but I go through cycles of not drinking or drinking, but I still need a fucking vice. So it would just be like half a gummy and playing PlayStation, sort of thing. But my mum's going through the menopause, and she doesn't want the drink, she doesn't smoke. And I sort of just went, what about... Because we had a relative of ours that was in a really, really chronic pain towards the end, and they were like, "Oh, just take something to alleviate the pain, just maybe even an edible, something that." And that's what got into my mum's head, and because she's going through the menopause, she went, "Oh, let me give this a go."
Right.
And then so I've just gone, "Do you know what, Mum? I'm not drinking at the moment. I'm about to make a batch. Do you want some?" And ever since then, she's been a fiend.
A fiend?
Yeah.
That's
well, I
brilliant.
say that, I'm blowing out
No,
of
you've
proportion.
hooked her. You've hooked her. You're pushing the first taste is free, and now she's chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
That's
Very Welsh
amazing.
of her.
Is she enjoying it?
Yeah.
Loving it.
Well, I think I've only made her one batch for her, but she really
What
liked
was she
it.
like?
I think it just chilled her out. I think it, again, my family, I would say, are very pessimistic, like anxiety-ridden pessimists.
Yeah.
Big stressors. Both creatives that didn't pursue it or were deterred by other people or life and just did jobs they hate.
Are they supportive of you?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I've had to really do unpacking of my childhood because again, it's just how you paint things as a child. You realise you've got a different lens. You've got like I remember my background is mathematics. I'm a mathematician. I worked in big data and tech. I worked in safeguarding until 2 months ago. I worked for IBM for a bit. I did a bit with banks, and I just went. I need to give back. I can't. Not every day can't be about money. So I worked in safeguarding, so trigger warnings. I worked with like a lot of abuse victims, a lot of neglect, child awful stuff. I wanted to make sure I helped back in what way I could. But my parents, I remember when I decided to go down this route, the mathematics, I wanted to earn money, I want to be a banker. They went, don't do that. You don't do that. Music and drama. You love music and drama. I went, no, Mum, it's not career, innit?
Yeah.
No, you don't make it like that. But that's not I remember. When I think of my parents, they were the ones that made me work for 2 hours every day when I got from school, made me practice the piano for an hour when I got in from school, made sure you got to do exercise, you got to play, and you got to do this, that, the other. I don't. That's not the things that should come to my mind straight away. It should be the ones that loved my drawings, that wanted to sit behind me while I played the piano, that wanted to that championed me going to do the arts.
Do you think part of their stress is like continually making sure, okay, we're going to put this kid on the right track. We're going to make sure that he follows things that are passions rather than, as you say, money, part of the logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just I think I would, as a child, like there's a lot of things that I go, oh God, that was awful. Oh God, that was awful. And now I think back, I just go, if you had an ounce more courage to speak out, everyone would know that you were having these problems. And because I was so deeply closeted and I hated myself and all these things. But if I just spoke out a little, no one would have cared.
Was the house like a safe place for you to speak out?
No.
Yeah.
But when I say it wasn't in my head, I bet it was. It definitely was. Now in hindsight, when I look at my childhood, it was safe. It was fun. I remember all these conversations me and my stepdad would have where he would be at the bottom of the stairs, I would be at the top of the stairs, and I was just crying and crying and crying. And because he was like, but now that's all I remembered. But what I should be remembering is not the tears, is the fact that people were reaching out.
Yeah.
But when you got that childhood,
I think as a kid, it's very rare to meet a kid who isn't in some ways like quite solipsistic, quite tunnel visioned, because empathy is something you kind of grow into. Awareness, self-awareness of situations, something you grow into. As a kid, you're very blinkered into what is happening directly to you and how it affects you.
Yeah.
And then when we look back, we kind of go, oh yeah. I remember when I came out to my mum, or when I was preparing to come out, I was so bound, and of course the same thing, I hated myself, and I thought nobody would understand and no one would love me. I was unlovable. And I look back now and go, there was no way my parents or my mum and my stepdad or anyone was going to have an adverse reaction to this. But the fear of it was so palpable. And like I kept it to myself for so much longer than I needed to, cause yourself so much stress. Probably gave myself a little tumour somewhere that's waiting. Just ticking away, my little coming out tumour.
All queer people have.
Yeah, right. You say that you find it hard to communicate with mum. You find conversations difficult. Is the stand-up a way to kind of broach some of that?
A little bit, yeah. But I think that's just a case of me growing up and later in life learning the language. And I should say it wasn't specifically mum.
Yeah.
It was just everyone. I just did not have the language to say how I felt.
Yeah.
It would just, I remember when I went into therapy, I went for anger management. It was just me just going, for about 45 minutes on the dot, actually. And then at the end she'd go, I think you're suffocated. I went, that's the one. Thank you. I just didn't have the language. So I would just vent it out in internalized homophobia, in external homophobia. I think I was a bit of a bully at points, playing rugby and hitting people harder than I should have.
Yeah. When did you actually kind of acknowledge that was part of you, that you were bisexual?
Ooh, lot of kidding myself. Years of kidding myself. Like I remember I did it really slowly. Like I would go, I couldn't say it. It was in my throat, just something as if this homophobia was a person, and all of a sudden it was a hand that just put itself over my throat every time I tried to utter it. So I remember I used to have to try and write it down. So and I started trying to write it down. I'm bi, I'm queer, I'm gay. I didn't know. I remember I tried to start writing that down when I was about 16, and I don't think I wrote it out until I was 22.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah, and then so then it took me another 3 years to come out to a friend, and I was 10 pints deep, Weatherspoons on Park Street in Bristol, and it was if like obviously I don't think the person knew, but it was as if I was explaining queerness to a child to him. I was about 10 pints deep, and I know, and the only reason I told him was because like, oh, you need to fuck off and fuck someone. But I thought I gotta tell him. I remember being battered and going, you know, do you like some people like women and like other people like men? Well, you know, I think I like a bit of both, you know. And he was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I was
All
going
right,
to ask,
fine.
what's his reaction? He was like,
Yeah,
fine, babe.
Yeah, cool, bye.
Yeah, I feel like once a certain part of history, the people who have the most problem with queerness are the people who are queer themselves. They have the most problem with their own queerness.
When I look back at all the horrible things said about me when about being queer, it's all the things I thought.
Mm.
No one said a thing to me.
Mm. Even when did it become sort of public knowledge?
I started doing it on stage not in lockdown. I started making jokes about it in lockdown. It's sort of the whole scale of it, sort of put the scale of the ongoing trauma around us. Maybe go, my little queerness is nothing.
Yeah.
So I just started doing jokes about it and just trusted in the power of gossip.
And you just thought, well, this will make its way round eventually.
Yeah, and I did.
What was the conversation with your parents like?
Difficult one with my mum and stepdad. They accepted it and were loving, but they didn't 100% get it.
Right.
I think the bi-ness accept specifically, and I think they were pushing to a difficult corner. Now I totally forgive them. But I remember, because I had a girlfriend at the time, when I came out. I just lost my hero, my grandfather, and I heard something on the radio, and it was like someone struck me with an arrow. I remember that. And it was like someone struck me in the arm, and it was like, the only way I can take this arrow out is if I come out.
Yeah.
So and it was just lodged, and I couldn't get rid of it. And I went, I got to get it out. Because I remember it happened in the lunch hour at work. And I was like, I have to say something now. Mm. And I rushed outside. I was working in a farm in South Gloucestershire. And I rushed out, and I just called my mum. She was in TK Maxx. And I said, oh, Mum, I've got something to tell you. And I probably butchered it just exactly as I butchered it, 10 pints deep. And again, she was like, oh, obviously I love you. Of course I love you. It doesn't matter who you love. I love you. But I said, oh, I'm seeing this person. I don't know what to say. And they said, don't tell anyone. Mm. Don't tell anyone. And now, again, it's just a fuck up. Mm. It wasn't calculated. It's not meditated. Mm. It's not an attack on me. No. It was just a fuck up. It was a slip up.
It's also a thing of parents want their kids to have an easy, loved life. And a kid coming out says to a parent, oh, this kid's life's going to be hard and I don't want it to be hard. So someone make it easy. Don't tell anyone because it'll be too hard. It'll be too difficult. You know, I remember my mum saying to me, you can be any kind of gay man you want. Just don't be a queen. Which is ironic considering my chosen career path. But in it, I know what she was saying. She was saying, don't be visible. Don't make yourself a target because I think my mum wanted to protect me. In many ways.
It's weird. When I then came out for my father, quite a bit later, because my dad used to make, and he's done the whole journey now. And if anything, because I got loads of queer people on my father's side of the family. And I think I was breaking point in a good way, because I think it was all those, it was queer people, but no one said it. It was all these secret synonyms, you know, that sort of...
Light and the loafers.
Yeah, that's just your uncle's David. That's your uncle's David.
Right.
They know that. That's your auntie's Kate, that is.
Right.
Not even friends, not even flatmate. It's just their person. Mm. And then...
It's a really interesting way of making someone... not anonymous, but in some ways still irrelevant or invisible.
Absolutely. And it was just taught behaviour. You just go, well, all my family don't talk about this, so I shouldn't talk about this. This is clearly something we don't talk about. What don't we talk about? Bad things.
Yeah.
So I just learned that it was a bad thing, so that's why I never came out. And then, it's all those sort of, when there's a same-sex kiss on the television, that sort of
Did you
thing.
have a visceral reaction to it like that? Or
I
were you just
didn't
like-
know. Well, that's what made me sort of twig. I remember at school people going, "Oh, have you heard of gay things?" I went, "Yeah."
Your first show, by and large, wasn't the first your parents had heard about your bisexuality. You came out to them before that, right?
Yeah, I came out to my family before that, but so a lot
Yeah,
of my
good.
friends know. It was mainly because I didn't want to do a big post about it. I didn't want to call people up.
You wanted them to come to you
Yeah, pretty much.
and pay 15 quid.
Yes,
That's a great way to monetize you coming out.
That's how I do with all big news.
I can't wait for your show about your appendicitis.
My wedding's going to be paid per view.
Do it. Fucking do it. In a Scotsman review of your show, it says you appreciate you are sitting on a treasure trove of familial weirdness. Can I get a little spotlight into what that weirdness might be?
Oh, my stepnan's a Thai bride that's 10 years older than me.
Fantastic. We love.
My auntie's a ghost hunter.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she's
A ghost hunter.
She's a ghost hunter.
She found the ghost of your heterosexuality yet?
I wish. It's so. Oh, bless her. I love her to the world and the bit. She makes these YouTube. She's a YouTuber as well, so she makes all these shows. And
Does she have more followers than you?
yeah, of course she does.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
I know. I know. And they go. It spoils the bit, but there's one episode they go ghost hunting around a new build.
That's so great.
So my stepmom was a Sophie Alex Baxter impersonator.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and I've started doing a bit of impersonator work.
As Sophie Ellis Bextor?
Yeah.
That's right. I see it already.
You got 3 guesses. Who am I impersonating? I'll tell
Are
you.
are they an international celebrity? Or are they like just British?
International, I would say.
International. Is it one of the Ryans?
No.
No. Okay, I'm going to need more assistance.
I
need a hint.
American.
American. Movie actor?
No. Sports person.
Oh, fuck off. Get out. Leave now. What am I going to do with that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it not Gus Kenworthy?
No, but I do get that ever so often. No,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's new
Oh,
boyfriend,
I thought you were
Travis
just going to say
Kelce.
Taylor Swift, and I was like, babe, I'm not here to yuck on your yum. But that's not a convincing gig. You as Taylor Swift. You are many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's new boyfriend. I see.
So I had to. I got booked to
see.
be an impersonator of Travis Kelly. I think his name is.
That's nuts. What did you have to do as his...
It's Travis Kelce.
Oh, Travis Kelce.
How do you know that?
Because he's really handsome.
Okay. Oh, stop. I can smell your arousal. What did you have to do as Travis Kelce?
Stand on stage, be sung at, fuck off.
Pick and mix, pick and mix. It's time for us to do pick and mix. It's the pick and mix, where you dip your hand into the sweetie jar of childhood experience and pick a selection of potentially tongue-numbing tales to share with us. Will it be a blackjack, a fruit salad, a flying saucer, a fried egg, a fizzy cola bottle, a shrimp, or the dreaded banana? Daddy, look! I'm doing a dive! You have picked, Daddy, look, I'm doing a dive. Some way that you have tried over the years to get your parents' attention. Hit me.
Oh, I did so many things. I was a fibber. I don't know why. I used to fib. I now look back at it and I just go, oh, that's so cringe, the amount you used to fib for attention.
Give me an example.
I lied about putting on a play at school. I told my parents that I've written a live adaptation of Scooby-Doo. And
If they didn't know you were bisexual then, they had no business raising a child.
yeah, I said, "Oh, I've written a live adaptation of Scooby-Doo, and they're going to make it at school, ma'am." And I kept on telling everyone, and they were like, "Oh, can we see the script?" I went, "No, I can't see the script until you watch the play."
How old are you?
Secondary school. I was too old.
No. I would expect this from like a 9-year-old.
Yeah, no, I was like early secondary school.
Mate.
And then I remember going, oh, I gotta make this show now, and so I remember begging the drama department, going, can we put on like a show?
Hey guys, I've just had an idea.
Yeah,
Off the top of my noggin.
yeah. I remember going like that. And like, I didn't study drama. I wasn't in any drama groups.
It wasn't even part of the curriculum.
No. If anything, I looked down at people that did.
Why do you think you told... By the way, it's very much the MO for a comedian to put their show on sale before they've written it. This is what you do in Australia because you plan so far ahead in festivals and book it ahead. You go, right, well, there's the poster image, there's the name. Now I have to fucking write
Yeah.
it. Why do you think you told the fib?
I was fascinated with writer performers, and that's what got me into stand-up because I saw Joan Rivers. So I was like, I gotta write something. What can I write? And I went, I loved pantos. I went, I can't do pantomimes. That's for children. Well, I know what I'll do. I'll make a live adaptation of Scooby-Doo,
Which is very much within the adult realm.
Yeah,
it is the Chekhov.
In my head, I went, well, theatre's for adults. I like Scooby-Doo.
That's it. I'll just smash them together.
Yeah.
To be fair, you'd have a West End run now if you did that.
Parental advisory.
AKA, do as I say, not as I do.
And you have also chosen parental advisory. What is the worst/best/worst/best bit of advice your parents have ever given you?
The best bit of advice I've ever had was it was more what was interpreted from the advice, aka everything's about how you frame it. My dad went through a really messy divorce, but he always said, you know what, I lost everything in that divorce, but I would have paid more to fucking lose her.
More proof that all comedy writers should be people who are currently going through divorces.
So I do not endorse what he said, but it just makes me think. I remember going, oh, it's how you frame it. There's always a positive. There's always... And so that's what I've always done. Like recently, I made something that didn't come out great, and I just go, do you know what? I can either see that as a ground down the drain or an expensive lesson. And do you know what? I'd rather view it as a lesson. And I've
It's
always
like a
remembered
very
that.
bitter, very angry version of when God closes a door, he opens a window.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing.
And now, Morgan, we're coming to the end, and it's been beautiful, it's been touching, it's been gorgeous. I've been erect throughout.
I don't know why this table didn't have legs.
But there's one challenge left. We call this, Shall I Be Mother?
Shall I be mother?
So look into my eyes, pretend I am your mum, your dad, your stepmum, your stepdad, or all four in some big cuddly pile covered in Vaseline. Look into my eyes. What would you say to them?
You are enough. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me, and now it's time you do it for you.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. That's got me in the feels. I'm going to have to go to a therapist. Find a therapist that I haven't slept with. Now, Morgan, thank you so much for coming to Daddy. Where can we and the Daddyettes get more of you?
I'm on all social media, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Facebook. Follow me on my website. When this comes out, I'll be on tour all around the UK and Ireland. But otherwise, follow me online. I've got a special out on YouTube called Morgan Rees Live at the Clapham Grand. Got a podcast called Chatting with Cherubs. He's everywhere.
You're everywhere. You're thickly spread across this country like class inequality.
Yes, please.
Thank you for coming to Daddy, Morgan Rees.
Thank you so much.